Hi, my name is Catherine, and in this video I will be playing a visual novel called Stillwater. This is my second video of this game. If you wish to know more about it, details, trailers, publish dates, developers, you can find all that information from the description below. So without further ado, let's continue this game. Nina, that man. Yes, he's my grandfather. The one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but... Nina draws something out from her pocket. It's an antique picture of a young man with slicked back hair wearing a luxurious suit. He appears to be poised and refined, a complete contrast to the current Henry Mortimer. This isn't much to go by, but I swear he is the same person. Then why does he look so young? Yep, why indeed. It happened a few nights ago. I was on my way to get a cup of tea when I heard a loud thud coming from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to check. Then I opened the door. I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him up, but when I did, he looked different. So many things were rushing to my head, and yet he felt so familiar to me. He wore the same clothes that my grandpa wore that night. And his face, I recognized his face. He just looked younger. That was also the same night I found that letter. It was next to him, already opened. I'm sorry again for all of this. No matter who I went to, they either said something was wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. The pools of water, the dripping sounds, the letter, and now this. Maybe my family is really cursed. They're not. Curses aren't real. Detective? I think we easily get too involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In reality, the ones who fixate on it feeds off of it. Rumors, doubts, lies, all of those things are what they want to become real. Deep-rooted emotions like that can't possibly be healed or fixed right away. But like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. Personally, I think you were caught up in all this, but I assure you we'll see this through, for you and your grandfather. Thank you. Good. Now our first priority is to find out more about Louis. Nina, the letter you showed us back at the agency, do you have it with you? Ah, yes, it's here. Do you mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back. Of course. I'll check upstairs. Noah, you and Colby check the ground floor. Got it. Before they leave to do their own investigations, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulder. He leans in close enough for Nina not to hear. Keep a close eye on Mr. Mortimer and Nina. Especially Nina. Okay. I'm counting on you. You too, boy. And with that, Hugo heads upstairs, starting his investigation. Mortimer Estate, 11:30 p.m. After searching vigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here. This is it. So what do we have here? The rain continues. This looks like pretty luxurious bedroom indeed. Partly quite organized and partly a bit messy. Someone likes their tea. Looks also pretty dark. I don't understand why the lights are not on. This is it. Hugo walks towards the nearest lampshade and opens it. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is. From customized drapes to the vintage furniture, everything here exudes that extravagance. But much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one in particular reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall, a sense of gloom lingers. It's as if the room itself is moldering, despite its preserved nature. I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long. Mortimer Estate, 11:50 p.m. He searches and searches, still with no sign of anything. Not one thing pertaining to Louis. Damn it, nothing! It's as if he cleared out everything, just blank everywhere. No, it has to be here. I'm just missing something. He ponders again before remembering the letter. This is the only proof Louis exists so far. I'll try to read it again. Maybe I overlooked it. As he takes the letter out from the envelope, he notices a change within. Bearing no foreboding thread at the bottom of the page, it looks just like a regular letter. What the? If you can't come, then I understand. It's pretty dreary after all. But if I can ask one last favor of you, could you keep my locket? I know this is selfish of me, but I'd like for you to have it. I'd be happy knowing it's with you. Thank you for everything, Henry. Forever yours, Louis. This is the same Louis? I thought he was the cause of all this. I don't understand. Without warning, the sound of a click can be heard across the bedroom, as if something unlocked itself. Hugo turns around and sees at the foot of the bed a chest. Unlike the other furniture, its dark and rustic features have not been maintained well, left to rot on its own. Preparing himself, he opens the chest. Inside, scrambled together are bunches of notebooks and small trinkets. Hugo continues to rummage through when he stumbles across an old newspaper article. Young man found dead by the lake. An unidentified young man was found on the morning of 3 days prior to his death, according to police. Ruled out as a suicide, police have claimed that the troubled youth drowned himself. This certainly is a tragic loss, an unfortunate event indeed. Comments. No claim of his body has been made yet. Louis. By the corner of Hugo's eye, he spots a bright glint buried beneath the clutter. He reaches for it. A locket of brilliant gold shines unblemished, retaining a timeless luster. Inside, it safeguards a picture of a young man with glasses, smiling brightly. Oh, such a sweet photo. This must be the locket that he was talking about. It's so pretty. I'm surprised it still shines like this. And this picture? Did he put this here? No, it might have been Henry. But why? Why would he store it away like this? What should I do? Take the locket, leave the locket. I have a feeling that taking the lockets might be meaningful. We don't get too many choices in this story, so I'm gonna take the locket. I feel like perhaps Nina would like to see it as well. I should probably hold on to this for now. Hugo is about to put everything back into the chest when he feels a wet and cold sensation crawling up his leg. What? Water? A pool of water relentlessly spreads across the floor, already seeping into the chest. Damn it, no! Ooh. Suddenly the lights shut off. A scream is heard, followed by myriad of shouts. Hugo is about to call out to Noah, but stops at the sight of pale feet before him. Pale feet? What? Is this a ghost? Looming over him stands a tall and ominous figure. His face is shrouded in complete darkness, devoid of any human emotion. Guess those are legs, right? Oh no. And water, probably? I'm scared. What's gonna happen next? Let's see. It appears as a young man, but Hugo knows that it's far from it. No, this very thing is trying to imitate a human form. Yep, those are legs, right? And that's a hand. Trying to be human. Hugo could only stare back. Paralyzed with fear, he is forced to watch the horror as it slowly creeps towards him. It's just like before, the sensation of someone staring at him from within. But this time, it's drawing nearer, inching ever so closely. The words to call out to Colby or Noah fail to reach out. Lodged in his throat, he struggles in pain, With his breathing shallow, he tries to force his body to move. And then it stops. Looking down at Hugo, filled with nothing but malice and contempt, it speaks. Don't get in my way. Let's see if that was actually the text or not. Whew, that was scary. Okay. All of a sudden, the door to the bedroom slams shut and the entity disappears. The tension from his body finally releases its agonizing grip, and he gasps desperately for air. His vision blurred and breathing jacked, he staggered towards the door. He yanks at the handle several times, but it's tightly jammed. Oh, Noah! Colby! To his dismay, he's only greeted with silence at the other end of the door. Damn it! From a distance, he faintly hears the sounds of Colby's relentless barking as it gets further away from the house. Hugo rushes towards the window. He tries to pry it open, but just like the door, a heavy force prevents him from doing so. This. Frantically looking around the room, he spots a nearby chair. Without a moment sooner, Hugo grabs the chair and starts to strike the window. Bit by bit, the window cracks get larger with each blow, splitting off smaller pieces. What the hell is this thing made out of? Still trying to catch his breath, he musters all the strength he has left for a final blow. Damn you, just break already! Clearing out the remaining glass shards, Hugo peers his head out to see any railing he can grab hold of. However, he discovers instead that the wall adjacent is covered in ivy. Despite how heavy the rain has drastically become, he reaches out for it, grabbing a handful of the vines. That sounds desperate. Doesn't poison... are there different types of ivy? I do not know. But shouldn't it hurt his hands when he's holding on to it? I don't know. I'm not clearly an expert in what comes to plants, but I thought that it might hurt if you touch it. Carefully, he climbs out the window, gripping tightly and making sure he doesn't lose his footing. Yet to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches start to tear away from the wall. Out of desperation, he struggles to find his grip on another, but fails when his hands slip out of reach. Shit! Clamoring wildly, as he loses grip on the ivy, he crash lands down onto a thicket of bushes. Air forced out of him, he heaves uncontrollably, trying to even out his breathing. But even that is laborious. An immense pain spreads across not only his back, but his entire body. God, I'm getting too old for this. Although his body screams out in pain, he forces himself up. There's still time. I can do this. I have to do this. With staggering feet and haggard breathing, he makes his way to the place where it all started. To the lake where this tragedy starts and ends. Mortimer Estate, 12:01 a.m. Finally, Re-entering through the park, Hugo calls out to Colby and Noah. Colby! Noah! Where are you? He hears faintly the sounds of barking and echoes of people yelling in the distance. He rushes towards the echoes, guiding him through the downpour. With his heart racing and blood rushing to his head, he finds his way to the lake. Drawing closer, he sees Nina giving chase to her grandfather. Unfortunately, she doesn't get too far as Noah stops her. Grandpa, stop, Grandpa! Let me go. My grandpa is... Nina, please, it's dangerous. You'll get hurt too. I don't care. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. It's at that instant Hugo trudges against the water, pursuing in Nina's stead. Oh boy. Hugo? No, don't. Kobe seems to agree with Noah here. Please falls deaf to his ears. Not even the whines and worried cries of his partner would make him turn back. Determined, he trudges further in. Nearing the deep end, he sees Henry Mortimer gazing directly at the abyss. He looks even more frail and disheveled, as if all the life had been drained from him, surrendering it all to the lake. Before Henry could lean in, Hugo reaches out and tugs at his arm. Mr. Mortimer, listen to me. Nothing is waiting for you down there, so please come back to the shore with me. Motionless and unresponsive, he still stares deeply into the water. There are so many things we cannot afford to lose in our lives, and you're one of them. To Nina, you're all she has left. She needs you, Mr. Mortimer. Hugo felt it. A slight jolt from Henry's arm, as if stirred by the mention of Nina. He looks so young, it's so weird to call him grandfather, or hear Nina call him grandfather. He slowly turns to face Hugo. Nina. However, just as cruel and violent as the storm, Henry jerks back, wrenching his arm away from Hugo's hold on him. All of this is my fault. If only I got to Louis sooner, then none of this would have happened. Henry inches even closer to the edge. Louis, I'm sorry. I should have... Should have what? Gone in his stead? Gone with him? You know that wouldn't resolve anything. Not for you or Louis. I read what he wrote to you those years ago. He understood if you didn't want to come see him. But the thing is, Mr. Mortimer, Louis never thought anything less of you. The locket is proof of that. Louis's locket. Yes, it's the symbol of his love for you. That's why you don't have to shoulder all of that pain by yourself anymore. We can talk about it. About you and Louis. All of it together. Hugo extends not only his hand to him, but a promise. A promise that Henry had yearned for so long. A way to forgive himself. He hesitates at first. What fool believes in a deserved forgiveness? Such a thing doesn't exist. And yet, despite everything, Hugo still reaches out to him. To a stranger. Maybe he can be forgiven. Just as he was about to reach out for Hugo, a hand slithers around. Henry's instead. Oh God, oh no. What? Who is this Louis now? Wanting to take Henry with him. Its arms unnaturally contort around him, while its head perches on his shoulder. By the way, the color scheme of this creature and what his eyes were precisely similar. Now it looks like his eyes lost the green color they had before. This thing, this Louis, is no longer pretending to be human. With piercing cold green eyes, it glares directly at Hugo, mocking him, cursing him, wishing nothing but despair. We can be saved. We can be forgiven. There is only one true way out of this. I will share with you the happiest of endings. Before Hugo could reach out for Henry's hand, he disappears into the water. Mr. Mortimer! Without hearing the anguished cries and desperate pleas, Hugo dives after him into the abyss. Oh boy. Plunging into icy waters, Hugo feels shocks running rampant throughout his body, like spikes continuously piercing from his legs to the tips of his fingers. Fiercely and unyielding, his chest tightens and his heart races as he begins to kick his legs, hoping whichever way he goes, he'll find his way to Henry. Swimming deeper and deeper in, he sees faintly a figure slowly descending into the darkness. Oh, I'm scared. This is the wrong time to say that I have thalassophobia, so fear of deep water, murky water, all sorts of environments which look like this. As he finally gets closer to Henry, long snake-like arms stretch across the void and grab Hugo's neck, violently squeezing all the air out from him. He tries desperately to wrench his hands away. Oh no, Hugo. But with each struggle, Hugo's movements begin to weigh heavier and heavier. Louis, where are you, Louis? It's looking for Louis? Digging deep into his coat's pocket, he grasps tightly in his hand the locket that Henry kept and had long forgotten, holding it out as it shines ever so brightly in the dark. Ah, There you are. It releases its grip on Hugo and instead reaches out for the locket. Taking this as a chance, he drops the chain and kicks with all his might to grab Henry's arm. With his heart burning and his body screaming, he swims desperately to the surface. Almost there. I just have to. The lights from the surface begin to blur. Hugo makes one last attempt to reach for it. With his limbs worn and his energy spent, this is all he can do. Before he loses his consciousness, he notices a figure swimming towards them, getting closer and closer, and then everything fades to black. Oh boy, I'm scared for him. I hope I made the right choice. Drifting along with what feels like an endless sea, Hugo courses through wave after wave, not knowing where he's going or caring for that matter. All he knows is that he's very, very tired. How long has it been since he had a good night's rest? It's been too long. Maybe I should take that rest now. I like that so much. No, don't do that. Don't take that rest now. You're still underwater. Please survive. I agree that you deserve it, but not here. I'm sorry for startling you. I just wanted to see you before I go. Louis? You've done so much for me and Henry. Thank you. No worries. From a far-off distance, a voice cries out to him, beckoning for him to come back. Well, I guess this is it. Take care, Hugo. Blake. With his eyes closed and his senses still returning, he feels the constant tugs and licks of a certain bloodhound. Whining as he tries to wake up his partner. Hugo! He also hears another familiar voice, too annoyingly close for comfort. Eyes shot right open, he jerks up. Confused, Hugo looks around before he coughs up the remaining water in his lungs. Are you alright? Noah starts to pat his back while Kobe continues to whine over Hugo. What happened? Where's Mr. Mortimer? He's safe. So is Nina. They're both okay. The police and the ambulance should be arriving soon. Thank goodness. Isn't there more you have to say to me? Instead of thank goodness? I swear you don't listen to a damn word I say. I'm sorry, Noah. Exhausted, he lets out a sigh. He then continues to pat Hugo's back aggressively when someone approaches them. Detective Laurent? Oh, Nina. There's someone I want you to meet. Behind her stands an elderly man. Oh, so this is Henry? Oh, what a transformation. Okay. Frail in stature, he timidly looks to the side, pensively as he ponders to himself. Although his youth has long faded, his eyes are what catches Hugo's attention. They're no longer a piercing and vicious green, only eyes just like Nina's. Hello, Mr. Mortimer. Detective. I never got the chance to say goodbye to him. I always thought about it every day. What if Louis lived on in this world? What if he stayed a little longer with me? It's because of that constant mindset I tracked everyone down. No, you didn't. And I kept hurting not only me, but Nina especially. I was the one who kept hurting her, the one to blame for all of this. But you, someone that I've never met, still went out of your way to save me. Not knowing my burdens or my faults. Thank you. Hugo reaches out to Henry and smiles brightly at him. It's my pleasure, sir. But before he lets go, Henry tugs at Hugo's hands one last time. I hope that someday you two will overcome it. Snap! Damn! Hugo has something personal going on that we don't really know what he's going through, but there are hints. We have been given hints like here and there that something else is going on, and I also heard that there might be a sequel coming to this story, so I hope in that one we will learn what is actually going on with Hugo. The next day, 8 a.m. Well, good morning, Hugo. You're bright and early. Morning. With much fervor and haste, Hugo resumes writing on his notepad. Although by closer inspection, he looks like he's going to combust any minute. Are you writing up the report? Without looking up, Hugo responds back. Yeah, for the most part. You still need to write yours too. I will. But since I haven't had breakfast yet, and I don't like eating by myself, juicy breakfast time. Let me guess. 2 is better than 1? Bingo! Wow, Hugo! You're really catching on! I'm so proud of you. Shut it, will you? I swear, if only I hadn't fallen off from the goddamn window, maybe my report would have been shorter. Before Noah could begin to cut the bacon, he pauses at the mention of Hugo's report. Oh yeah, by the way, mind telling me what's happened to the Mortimer's window? I broke it. Well, that's obvious to me. What I don't understand is, why is it broken? Do you know how much it costs to repair a window like that? I know, it was really dumb of me. I'm sorry. Besides, I told Mr. Mortimer about it before we left. Honestly, I was expecting an earful from him. And also the bill. And, surprisingly enough, he said it was okay. So, what? You just called it a day after all of that? Thank you so much, Mr. Mortimer. You broke it, you pay for it. Would you chill? Of course I'll pay for it. But each time I kept insisting, he just shrugged it off. Said that we already went through a lot for them, so this was nothing in comparison. Blech. You know what? He's right. After all that we went through, I deserve at least a nap. Hugo puts down his pen and proceeds to head for the couch. Colby follows after him. Wait, what about breakfast? I'll eat later. It's nap time now. Heavily sighing, Noah sets aside the food on his desk and joins the other two at the couch. They are so precious. Look at them. Hugo looking so serious but also tired, a bit more relaxed. And Noah just like enjoying the moment. And look at Colby. Look at Colby's cheeks, his tongue, and his eyelids. I can't take it. It's too precious. That's amazing. I'm so happy. Ugh, I'm getting old. I mean, you are old. Shut it. Colby whines, asking for head scratches. Sorry, boy. Silently, Hugo scratches the back of Colby's ears as he leans closer to Noah. You know, I'm glad that you came along yesterday. Oh, what's this? Are you getting chummy with me now? Call it chummy or whatever, but I really mean it. If you hadn't saved us back there... Look, I told you before. I'll be there whenever you get yourself into reckless shit. Besides, didn't you say this was nap time? Get some rest. You deserve it. You too. Oh, they are so cute together. A calming silence fills the room as the three fall deeper into sleep. No big parties or celebrations, just each other's comfort and sharing this small but rewarding night's rest. Good end, a night's rest. We got the good ending! Yeah! Thank you for playing. Well, thank you for making this lovely game. That was the end of Stillwater. Thank you for sharing this gaming experience with me.